Today we're going to be going over superposition. Superposition in DC circuits. We'll find here in circuit 2, if we go up to the top, go through my courses. And for us, it's under our homework assignments. Here it is, DC superposition. Let's start hammering out some problems. We'll start with the most basic ones to get our feet wet. Starting out here, we notice we have a 1 volt voltage source, a couple resistors, and a current source, and we're trying to find I0 here. So in superposition, it's a technique used to analyze linear electric circuits with multiple independent sources. And the key here is to activate only one independent source at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and keep this voltage source here, and we're going to remove the current source. Remember, we want to remove current sources. If we ever remove a voltage, we're going to replace it with a short circuit. So since we're keeping the voltage and we're removing the current source, we're going to remove source. Right. Many ways we could do this. We could also simplify the circuit, which will change our variable I01, which is what we don't want to happen. We want to keep that I01. So I think our next step here is to solve either with nodal or mesh analysis. We see here that we have a voltage source. Usually when I see a voltage source, it makes me want to choose nodal. So we're looking at the nodes. Very easy calculations coming out of that one. So 1, the voltage source, equals from positive to minus, so that's 0 minus V1. All right, V1's already taken care of, it's talked about, so we'll start with V2. 0, we're going to go over across the resistor. I equals V over R. We're going to add V2 minus V1 for the other resistor equals 0. So what's really good about circuit 2 here is we're able to write in the variables so we can see what things are supposed to look like before we actually start throwing in numbers. Correct. So we're going to go ahead and input the matrix here. So this is also fairly intuitive. So let's move our V1 over on this side. I put a 1 in the spot for V1. Here's a spot for V2, and this is the right side. We're going to put a -1. So we move that 1 over to this side and this V1 over to this side. I like to keep them on the left and the right. Left having our variables, the right having these. So here we go again. V1, if you notice here, our only V1 is this, so it's negative 1 over 6 V1. Negative 1 over 6. That's all we got for V1. And V2, we got 1 over 3. You can notice there's a 1 times V2 right here, so 1 over 3, 1/3 times V2, plus 1/6 V2. So we'll go ahead and put that 1 over 6 in here as well, and that equals 0. Leave that blank. Go ahead and submit. Does our computations for us, shows us correct. Go ahead and submit. And now we need to calculate I01. I01 here. So since we're looking for I01, we're going to go ahead and put in that current. Current I equals current equals V over R. So we're going to go ahead and do current going this direction. So we notice here I01 is going into this resistor right here. So we can do V over R. Go ahead and put those numerically in there. 4 divided by 3. Okay, so V2 is a negative 0.3333 over 3. That should give us our I01. So that was with our voltage source. Now we do our current. So we're going to replace our voltage source here with our short circuit. And we're going to go ahead and keep our current source in that circuit. Again, we have a couple options. We could simplify, nodal, or mesh. When I see this guy, I like to do this guy. Whenever there's a current source, I like to go with mesh because that's an easier calculation for me. Start out 9 equals I1. Sorry, I2. Here's I2, 9 equals I2. That's the current and I2. So do it for I1. Go ahead and always start at the top, and then I come down. Right, the first one we hit is 6 ohm resistor. That's the current from I1 opposing the current from I2, because look, I2 is coming up this way, I1's coming down. So positive I1 minus I2. We're going to move on to the next resistor, which is the 3. Its current is just with I1. Go ahead and sum that equal to 0. Now, typically, I like to do this just to be safe, but Circuit 2 can take it either way. So, double check our equations. We're all set. Go ahead and submit. Right, awesome. Put in our input matrix. Again, we'll have 0 for that. I2 is 1. This is -9, -1. But for our I1 value on the second equation, 6 plus 3. That's I1. 6 I1 plus 3. 6 plus 3. For I2, -1 here, 6, so it's -6 equals 0. Go ahead and submit. Does our computation. We got I1 equals 6, I2 equals 9. Now we go asked to compute I02. Well, if we look at the direction, I02 matches I1. So in the direction of I1 is intended by I2. So our current I1, caps lock, I1 minus I2. In the direction of I1, but not in the direction of I2. So now we do it numerically. You just plug and chug. 6 is I1, subtract it by 9. There we go. So now we're back full circle, back to our final answer. We found in the first, after removing the current source and keeping the voltage source, we found our current at this point to be negative 0.1111 amps. And for the second iteration, we removed the voltage source by short circuiting it, leaving the current source, and we solved through nodal and mesh, nodal and mesh, and we got our final value for I02 as -3 amperes. So to find this total here, we're going to add them both together. I01 plus I02. And there we've done it. What's great about Circuit 2 here is as you continue on, you come across more complex problems. But the basics are always the same. You want to isolate your independent sources. Whether you have 4 independent sources, just isolate them. Remove the others and compute for your variable. At the end, you can sum them all together. See, if we click next problem here, it'll take us on, show us another problem. And you can already start to see after the first superposition problem we've done, There's 3 now. Nothing much would change. We keep 1 in the circuit. We'll replace this one with a short circuit. This is another voltage source, so they both get removed by short circuits. And we compute on. There's also more information can be found on superposition in the Files tab. Down in the Files, there's a link right here that'll take us to a real nice PowerPoint we download. When we open it, we have some examples we can work through. We can see some visuals of how things are thought of and explained, how we have 1 and 2 and you add them together, I01 and I02. So some problems with a mini quiz in there. It also helps us zone in on some superposition principles. But thank you for sticking around. Hope this review on superposition was helpful. Remember, B equals IR.